Today's the day that we're finally gonna finish the 6x6 Ranger. It's gonna be a good day. Yeah, where's your phone?
Oh, no!
Oh, phone in your back pocket, so let's try push-ups.
Are you gonna learn, Will? Are you gonna learn?
Nobody's gonna get jacked.
We're making some room to get the 6x6 Ranger in here. And last thumbnail, we put this in the bed of the Ranger.
And then it snowed a whole bunch and rained a whole bunch, and now it's full of water.
Insane amount of ice.
The plan is to build a sort of roll cage headache rack slash, situation here that attaches to the bed. So it'll go up and around the cab with, some bracing there. And then also it'll come back this way, to be braced that way. Probably put some sweet light pods up there for backup lights because, why not? We got 2 full-size spare tires and wheels that match off of EbayMotors. And we're gonna put those something like this so that we have 2 spare tires because, when you have 6 wheels, that's 50% more opportunity for a flat tire. Brand new wheels and tires, shipped right to your door from EbayMotors. I'll just show you. With one of these monsters out on the fender, it just looks so tall.
Just above the roof, which I think
the
is
scale just
weird.
looks kind of off. Anyway, so I think those just might go in the middle there, and I'll just leave them there for now while I build the hoop anyway. But the other question is, we have this square tube, which is what I used for some of the reinforcements underneath there. And we could kind of use that and go, go up and then have it angle up to here, and then have it like kind of stick up past and then a crossbar that way, and fill in with some mesh or like some cross, angles or whatever. Or we could just do round tube, which would give it more of a pre-roller vibe. Yeah. Because it'd look more like a proper roll cage. Yeah. With like back tube. I think round tube's the move, but
Yeah, round tube all around, I think, because if the square was in the back, it would look cool, but then envisioning that going to it.
Yeah. I think this will just make it look more fast.
Man, has anyone else noticed that we might need a bigger space? A bigger shop? This thing is huge. Once you put a normal size car in here, it's like, oh.
We were just talking about that.
Well,
in a couple months here, we should be able to start on the new shop once all the snow melts.
Yay.
And, 2 years later, when they finally get me the steel structure kit I ordered. You hear the Swindle brothers out there swindling. Way off in the distance.
It's always concerning.
It is. It gives me anxiety. Something's gonna get messed up. You just know it. What I'm doing here is getting these 2 clamp blocks perfectly aligned with each other using the only flat surface within miles. This fab table from Road Fab. I have these all measured out where they need to be to make the 2 main bends on the hoop. And then I get it nice and perfectly flat on the table here and tighten them down. And that way, those 2 bends will be exactly in the same plane no matter what else happens with this tube. A lot of measuring and marking and mathing here before we actually do anything. I don't want it to be perfectly straight across the top. I want it to have a little bit of an arc to follow the roof line.
One of you guys sent us a really cool package to the P.O. box, and I always just look at it, but Steven...
You've already seen it?
I've seen it.
What the devil?
Well, I mean, that's probably good, because otherwise he brings it up here and it's something we don't want to see. Or see on camera. I mean, you never know.
But this one you do want to see.
Right.
It's very cool. I'll let you guys
Let's
check it out.
I
think I put the note back there and everything.
It's blue.
Wow, that is a very nice blue.
Is that? Oh, it's an Odyssey seat cover for the seat in the Dream Camper.
Yeah.
Oh
That
my
is
gosh,
sweet.
ours
Yeah,
is
we can
so
reupholster
raggedy.
it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hello, Grindhard Plumbing Co. I've been watching your channel ever since you guys did the Honda Odyssey build. As an avid Odyssey fan from an early age, I loved watching your work on these rare machines. But yours probably stands out as the most radical that I've ever seen to date. I was inspired so much by your build and channel that I started my own company, Oddball ORV. Your latest video on the Barbie Dream Camper where you finished the paint looks amazing. The seats still stood out to me. Well, thanks, Robert.
We got another little cinder here. It's a crane scale.
Oh no, this is the power feed for the mill.
Well, thanks, Gerald. This is gonna be awesome. I don't know what a power feed does personally, but I'm sure Ethan does.
What are you doing, Will?
So I put this up there, and these 5-degree bends ended up being just about perfect. They're like maybe a degree more than necessary, but it'll look good. So time to stick it back in and bend the big bends, which are going to be somewhere around 68 degrees.
Red Ford Ranger. All the other description here, it's just red. That's it. But what happens is we turn on the heater and there's some kind of like pine needle situation where it just blasts the cab with trash every time we turn on the heater to defrost the windshield.
Premium. Start with 65 degrees and see what that looks like. Will go up. Not Edwin. Will up. Oh. toward Will, like an inch or two. Edwin go up a little bit. Oh, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a little. Perfect.
That little box is so useful.
It's incredibly handy, yeah.
Will, I heard you guys making some suspicious plans out there.
I'm leaving in a month, and they're already planning the swindles.
We got to start ordering parts because this one is gonna be way better than any of our other swindle machines we did without Ethan.
This one be way better. Ethan's gonna be like,
The idea is way better.
Yeah.
We'll see what the outcome is.
Should we take a look at this notepad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our first time being left alone because cameraman Steve's very responsible. Ethan's very responsible compared to us. And yeah, we're just gonna go for it.
And you know, I imagine you guys will be ordering a whole bunch of parts off EbayMotors for that too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
what we're
sir.
doing right now. And
I mean, that video won't be sponsored by eBay, but this one is, so.
flip that notepad around, Steven, and tell me what you see there.
Wait, show me what else is there.
A list?
It's EbayMotors.
Oh! I went and made a nice dumb mistake here, which is when I put these two clamp blocks on, I had the marks in the same place, but I put the block on the wrong side of the mark over here. So that means that this tube, or this bend, is 1.5 inches farther up than that one. So this one's in the wrong place, which means I need to get out the tube stretcher and stretch this tube 1.5 inches. And by tube stretcher, I mean the chop saw. Call this the old idiot fix. I got my sleeve and my little spacer. I made this just a little less than 1.5 inches so that there'll be a little gap to fill with weld on either side. I'll weld it up and sand it down. And, oh, that's an interesting thing. I never thought about the different prepositions you use there. Weld it up, sand it down. Up and down. have a new dilemma, which would have been great if I'd figured out this dilemma before I solved that dilemma, because I want this bar to line up with the bed, the back of the cab rather, angle-wise, because from the side, if you look at it like this, it just looks kind of dumb. It just doesn't look right, because it goes just straight up and there's this big gap, and you know, but if you lean it back this way until it aligns with that, then, well, right there, it's too close to the cab. And then this looks stupid and unintentional because you have the same sort of gap. So, what I should have done is put this bend at a different plane than the rest of the bends. I can just cut that back off right next to the weld there, and it'll slide off the sleeve, and that'll be only one weld. And then I can take this piece and I can bend it a few degrees more just by itself, and then I can rotate it until it makes both bends that I want. So it'll make the bend that goes this way and that way at the same time. Oh, I don't like it. I want it to be one piece. A big old stack of parts here from EbayMotors. Mostly lights, because that's what we need. Got a bunch of trailer lights, LED waterproof submersible lights. So I'll put those across the back.
Oh, that's gonna look cool.
It'll basically cover the whole back of it with these things. And then, so those can be brake and tail lights. And then we got these little guys that'll fit into this space for the turn signals. You know, should be legal here in Idaho. Close enough anyway. Got a couple of brand new ratchet straps to hold the tires in. Yeah, all sorts of premium parts from EbayMotors. Everything you could ever need. Trailer lights, mud tires, awesome wheels. You know, we even got this crazy weird old differential off EbayMotors when we blew it up.
And the reason why we needed it is we tried to take this truck into a 4th of July parade. A part fell off the diff and it lit on fire.
It did, yeah. This nut on the back here, where there's the output shaft, because they're pass-through diffs, the nut there backed off and this piece fell out, and so the fluid leaked out and the bearings got all wobbly, and yeah, it caught on fire.
First time filling up the Ranger at a gas station for real.
Oh yeah.
About ready to go 4th of July parade.
So now the rear diff is making a lot of noise and smoking, but we got 2 other diffs, it's fine.
So as we feared, the diff got much worse, and with the heat and the oil going everywhere, it actually lit on fire on the highway. But that's why I came driving behind Ethan, just in case something like this happened. A crescent wrench is all you would need.
Yeah, I could do it with a crescent wrench.
You got a stencil, huh?
Yeah, well, I turned it into like something else. I'll try not to cut the next one in half so I can actually use that to...
Little hole saw for the blinkers.
Oh, ow!
Oh shoot.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're not quite paying attention.
You made an amusement park ride.
Yes. So I found that for the little turn signal lights, the a 2 1/8 inch hole saw is about the right size. And I just bent that because I wasn't paying attention and I punched through too hard and it sucked itself in and had a bad day, but. Nice. That's how you make a donut out of metal.
Grind hard, donut factory.
Yup. I also realized I can use these, cut out some more bottle openers. As one of the Seaboys once said, we're like Native Americans with a buffalo. We use every little piece. I was doing the same thing on the other blinker hole, and then like I was just like, oh, okay, I'm done. And like on the way out, I bumped the side and it just went blah, 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 and just yeeted out of my hand.
Oh, so it actually fell onto your hand?
Yeah, it like went flying through the air and yeeted across my hand in the process.
Oh.
So that's fine. I mean, it's just a scratch, but.
Well, it is a bigger job, so.
They'll have that on the bigger job.
Did you ever look that up to see what it comes from?
I did, yeah, I Googled it, and the answer is no one knows. It's just kind of like a construction thing that just became popular, like, from various sources. Like, it wasn't one, like, movie or show or anything like that. It's just, like, it's a thing people actually just said, like, legitimately.
Yeah.
You know, there'd be some big job and something goes wrong, and they go, ah, you'll have that on these bigger jobs, like, in all seriousness, and then somehow it just, like, worked its way outward to being used in a more general sense. Now we have ourselves a premium lighting setup back here, thanks to EbayMotors. Whoo! With fast and free shipping. What you guys don't know is that this is about to be our least exciting 6x6. That's all I can say, but...
I can confirm the authenticity of this announcement. Pacific has never smiled in his entire life.
None of them have.
When I showed up in this thing and ordered steel, I saw the hintest of a smile.
I mean, it does look pretty ridiculous.
They didn't have the 120, so the 083 will have to do for today.
Yeah, it doesn't bend as well, but I can get some of the short pieces done that don't need to be bent. Man, what a beautiful spring day in February it is here.
Yeah. Also, my truck is dead. That's why the Tesla has been the work truck on our Instagram stories recently.
Yep. There's no actual reason to deburr the inside of these tubes that are then going to be welded, but the deburring tool is just so satisfying. I can't resist.
It does look pretty fun.
I'll let you give it a try on the next one.
All right, I'll hit the next one. So this is the same die, just with a thinner tube.
Yeah. But it's only, this bend is only 8 degrees, so like, you can see it, there's just like a little, I mean, you won't see the inside of the bend at all. There's a little ripple there.
Yeah.
And you can imagine if we bent it any more, it would start to crinkle in an unpleasant way, but this little doohickey only needs to be 8 degrees. Which, conveniently, and very fortunately, is not the outside temperature today. We've been complaining a lot about the cold this winter, and today is actually quite nice outside. I'm using my non-dominant eye to eyeball this, because it's the one that's closer to it. I get the wrong angle if I use my right eye.
You look like you're struggling. I don't know why, but sitting like that with your feet not touching the floor, it looks like a kid playing with a toy.
I mean, aren't we all just big kids playing with toys?
Yeah, I think so.
Since all we had is 083 tubing, I decided to take it for a little test ride here on the 6-inch radius die. And it worked great. 083 on a 6-inch radius bends almost exactly the same as 120 wall on a 4.5-inch radius. I don't know if those ratios work out to be the same. Probably, if they bend similarly. I'm not gonna do the math because I don't enjoy math that much.
The same enough, huh?
Yeah, the bottom line is it works and it looks very, very premium.
Yeah, that takes the Ranger to a whole new level.
here in the shop yesterday, just you know, getting stuff done. Everybody else somehow got sick, and I managed to avoid it. I got a whole bunch done. I made a spare tire rack that is entirely removable. There's just 2 bolts here, 2 bolts there, and then I made these little tube clamp thingies that just clamp onto these tubes. So 8 little bolts and the whole rack removes. I got one of the strap mounts done, so I made these little plates here with some sneaky hexagons for hooking the ratchet straps to. So, but the way I designed the rack is that all of the tubes hold the tires in, like, pretty much just with gravity. So the strap is, you know, just to keep it there if you're really sending. But it's also completely removable, as I said, so that we can put larger things in the bed if we want to. But I think that looks pretty sweet. And then I also added in these braces here. Obviously they make it way stronger in various ways, but they also just look cool. So I did that. I'm just gonna make a couple more tabs like this, get that other strap on there, and then we'll be able to take it out and rip it around a little bit. So I made these for the tires, but I may also cut out a couple extras and put them, you know, on the sides here as a tie-down point. I'll add some little gussets here and there that'll also be tie-down points. So this doesn't need a gusset for any reason, but if I put one there, it can look cool and be a tie-down point. And then same here, I can gusset this, just a little corner thing with a hole in it. If I put a little gusset across there, that adds strength to the bend, which is kind of a weak point in any tube. Here we go. Got a couple of gussets all designed up here. This one here goes here, and that one goes there. So start with those, cut a couple out, see if they work, and yeah. That looks very nice though. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go drive this thing down to the store and get some lunch.
You. We're gonna chase Ethan in the Tesla, get some rolling shots, because how badly do you want to film that thing right now?
Oh,
It's
dude,
so good.
it looks amazing.
It's like cooler than like the little cool RC trucks where you're like, oh, I wish this was real. This one's even cooler than that.
And it's very real, I think.
Yeah. And I love how this thing spins. We talked about doing like a wheel where it randomly selects something, the diff outlet thing.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah. He's just gonna lock his hubs, he'll be fine.
Oh, I didn't realize they weren't.
He was just trying to do it in 4 and 2 6x4. He was trying to do it in.
That's so cool. get some lockers.
I know.
Can we really just not get lockers?
So we could weld it, but then Ethan thinks that the CV axles won't hold up.
They
So
probably won't.
it's just the diffs that they are were never intended for anything like this. Because if the thing is, if we break it, they are kind of hard to get. They're $600.
Oh,
So if we
shoot.
broke both, it's $1,200.
And breaking both seems pretty likely with us.
I think if we get one, we're gonna get the other.
This thing's honestly really premium to drive on the road, except that one of the door switches is stuck. So it just dings at you constantly, which really kind of ruins the vibe. All right, now we get to do the super janky steering.
Woohoo!
Yeah, that wasn't like 20 miles an hour. It's very violent because there's no variability to it. It's just a switch.
Kind of weird so weird to drive like this.
Well, we tried to park it here next to the EbayMotors Bronco, and I got it stuck because it doesn't have diff locks. So time to winch it out.
The Ranger is a huge truck, but how is the Bronco that big? Jeez. Well, it's always a fun day if you get to use your winch.
Well, I'd say that turned out rather nice. Next episode, we'll order up some paint off EbayMotors and get it all painted up so it doesn't get all rusty and crusty. We'll paint it to match the front bumper. It's gonna look super nice. And while we're ordering stuff, we'll get ourselves a fresh battery for this thing. I'm thinking it deserves a good quality lithium battery because the one in it is perpetually dead. So we'll grab one of those off EbayMotors as well. And then, yeah, just a few more little mount points for lights, and then when I take it off, the whole bed will come off. When I take it off to paint it, I'll weld the backside of a few that I couldn't reach with it installed. And then the Ranger will be actually finished.